It's 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are bored. You aren't hungry. You aren't tired. You are just empty. You scroll through your phone and find an ad for the newest smartwatch. It has GPS, heart rate tracking, and it looks good. It promises a version of you that is more athletic, more organized, more together. You click buy. The transaction goes through. The screen flashes purchased. 1 day later, you look at your wrist. The watch feels heavy. It doesn't vibrate right. The battery is dead. You realize you just wasted $300 on a device that serves no function in your life other than to annoy you. This didn't happen because of greed. It happened because of boredom. This doesn't happen because of wisdom. It happens because of stress. But here's the twist. You felt good about it for a moment, then terrible. You celebrated the win only to realize later that what you bought wasn't what you wanted. It was just what you thought you needed to relieve the boredom. This is the modern economy's most profitable loophole. We are programmed to buy when we aren't busy, and those purchases usually fail to satisfy us. Welcome to the Nominal Trap. This is the saga of why we buy things we don't need when we are stressed, and how nominal numbers fool our brains into thinking they have value. Act 1. The frame effect and the stress response. In 1985, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky introduced the concept of the framing effect. They demonstrated that if you present a decision to people differently, you get different answers without changing the math. Kahneman used 2 scenarios to illustrate this perfectly. Scenario A. You are offered a treatment with a 70% survival rate. Scenario B. You are offered a treatment with a 30% mortality rate. Which one do you choose? Practically everyone chooses Scenario A. It feels positive, safe, and hopeful. But mathematically, Scenario A and Scenario B are identical. The only difference is the frame, the way the information is presented to the brain. The connection to stress. When we are under stress, whether from a job interview, a traffic ticket, or a panic attack, we lose our ability to process complex data. We rely on heuristics or mental shortcuts. We look at the frame, and the frame tells us what feels right. If you are stressed about missing an important meeting and see a price tag that says $45, your brain processes it as adequate. You buy it. Later, when you are calm, you read the receipt, $45. You realize the item is worth $20 in real value because of poor quality. But because you saw the word $45, which felt like a frame of value, you felt relieved that your purchase was justified. Stress is the ultimate buyer. It cannot process the difference between real and nominal value. It only processes what feels right now. Act 2. The impulse aisle. Boredom works differently. When we are bored, energy is low, patience is thin, and our brain seeks a dopamine hit via consumption. This is where the impulse aisle exists. It isn't a physical place, it's a psychological state. When bored people enter a store, they look for items with high contrast, red, blue, shiny, or new. They interpret these colors and newness as signals of value. Because they have nothing else to do, they buy everything that looks valuable. This is called the scarcity heuristic. If something looks like it costs a lot, even if it doesn't, buying it fills the time. But here lies the money illusion. Boredom cannot distinguish between a price tag of $10 and a price tag of $15, provided the item is the same. Both are frames that promise escape. The neurochemistry of boredom is simple. Excitation equals purchase. When you feel nothing, buying something makes you feel something regardless of whether it was what you wanted or not. Act 3. The anchoring effect. This is the most dangerous trap for bored shoppers. It's called anchoring. Imagine you're in a store looking at lipsticks. You walk past a counter and see one priced at $35. It feels like expensive. You move on. Next to it, there is a lipstick that looks generic. The price tag says $10. You pause. $10 feels cheap, low risk, no stress. You buy it. Later you realize the $10 lipstick was worth only $5. You got a bargain. But what if the £35 lipstick was worth $50? Because your brain anchored on the $10, it failed to recognize that the more expensive item was better value. The feeling of relief from buying the cheap thing made you blind to the quality of the expensive one. When we are bored, we pick the first thing that feels like a good deal, the anchoring number, and stick with it. We rarely compare. Comparison is hard work. Boredom is lazy. Laziness makes us stupid, and stupidity accepts anything for nominal value. Act 4. The endowment effect. There is a psychological phenomenon known as the endowment effect. It suggests that people ascribe higher value to objects simply because they own them. Imagine you win a lottery ticket worth $1,000. You sell it for $500 and buy yourself a coffee with the rest. Later, a friend asks you how much that ticket was worth to you. You say, $900. Even though you only got $500 for it, your brain told itself the ticket represented $900 of value because you had it. The boring buyer. This is why people hold on to depreciating assets like cars, furniture, or old crypto, while buying new things on impulse. The comfort of owning creates an illusion of value that keeps them trapped in the cycle. If you are stressed and bored and you own a 5-year-old car, your brain will tell itself, even though it's worth $8K now, I feel like it's worth $10K because I built it. When the car breaks down, the endowment effect makes the replacement feel like a loss rather than an upgrade. Act 5. The zero pain effect. Nothing triggers the human brain faster than the word free. If a restaurant offers a free dessert, you eat it. If a website says, download for free, you click. If an app asks for your money and says it's freemium, you download it. This is called the zero pain effect. Because there is literally zero cost to you in the moment of acquisition, your brain fails to process the trade-off. What did you give up for that free burger? Your time waiting in line, your ability to buy another item elsewhere. When we are stressed or bored, our tolerance for zero pain transactions skyrockets. We will accept a bad deal if it feels like nothing is being taken away. This creates a feedback loop. Stress boredom leads to a search for free plus nominal price. The impulse buys led to an immediate high. Later, the regret and guilt set in. The brain cannot process the loss of value when the transaction was pain-free. Act 6. The debt mask. We discussed the trap of purchasing when stressed or bored, but there is a parallel trap in financing that happens when we are feeling safe and secure. It is called nominal security. We look at our bank account numbers, they go up. They feel like they represent power. Because of this, we take on debt. We apply for credit cards with 20% interest or high-interest loans because the nominal value on the receipt says credit. We feel wealthy because we see the number, my limit is $5,000. This is where the money illusion meets compulsive buying. We cannot distinguish between the money we have and the money we owe when it looks like money. A high credit limit feels like a high income. It fools us into thinking we are rich enough to speculate or gamble or buy things on margin. The cycle is clear. Stress makes you buy for a dopamine hit. Boredom makes you anchor on the lowest price. Security makes you see a high bank number and take out a loan to buy more. The trap is cyclical because we're rewarded with numbers, receipts, salary, and checks, reinforcing the illusion that numbers equal reality. Act 7. The systemic exploitation. Retailers and advertisers are not naive. They know exactly how the nominal trap works. They use charm pricing, putting items at $9.99 rather than $10, because 9 feels lower in our minds than 10, even though it's just a penny difference. They use scarcity framing. Only 3 left in stock. Because a low number creates anxiety that forces the brain to anchor on the price regardless of value. During inflation, when prices feel like they are rising, companies raise nominal prices by 2%. They frame this as higher quality or increased research. The consumer feels confused, looks at the price, sees it didn't go up that much, and buys it. The money illusion has worked. The solutions. To break out of the nominal trap, You must stop looking at money as a number and start looking at it as psychological noise. Here is how you can fight boredom and stress with logic. Number 1. The 5-second rule for purchasing. If you see something you want that triggers a feeling of boredom or stress, count mentally. 1, 2, 3. If you still want it in exactly 5 seconds, buy it. If not, then don't. You didn't need it to relieve the boredom. You just didn't know what else to do. Number 2. The real value. Challenge. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, what is this worth in my time? If a video game costs $60, but you play 1 hour of it for free every weekend, ask yourself if $60 buys your attention. It usually doesn't. Number 3. The wait list. Strategy. If you are bored and buy something impulsively that breaks or turns out to be bad, delete the purchase. Put the item on a mental wait list. After 1 month, check if you miss it. If the answer is no, you were never supposed to have it. Number 4. Pause the scroll. When you are bored or stressed, pause. High emotion kills our ability to process complex math. Ask yourself, do I need this right now? Number 5. The value test decluttering strategy. Here's a simple test. List the item for double what you paid and wait 1 month. If it sells, it has real value. If it doesn't, it's just clutter, not an asset. Let it go. Your space is worth more than unused stuff. The nominal trap is not about greed, it's about relief. When we are stressed or bored, our minds cannot handle complex math, so they rely on the easiest thing available: price tags. We treat $10 and $10 million the same way in our heads. Both represent money. Because of this, we buy when we need escape, and we borrow when we feel rich. But the money illusion isn't a virus to be cured. It is a feature of human nature evolved to help us survive scarcity. It works too well, however, because it gets in the way of our long-term financial health. The next time you feel the urge to buy something because you are bored or stressed, remember, the number on the receipt doesn't reflect your reality. It reflects only your moment. If you want a better life, you must learn to see through the veil of the number to the reality of the value. Keep your value. Keep your time. I am Think Glent. Keep thinking.